Hey, ever notice how some cars just make you feel something the moment you lay eyes on them? Like that rush when you see a sleek sports car, or that weird sense of trust when you spot a bulky SUV. Yeah, that's not an accident. And what I'm about to tell you is going to completely change how you look at every vehicle on the road. Before we dive into this rabbit hole, smash that like button and subscribe because you're not going to believe what automakers have been hiding in plain sight this whole time. Hey, this is Mark, and you're welcome to AUTOSAYS. So here's the thing nobody talks about. Car companies spend millions, and I mean tens of millions of dollars, studying your brain, your emotions, your deepest psychological triggers, and they're using all of that research to design vehicles that manipulate exactly how you feel. Sounds crazy, right? But stick with me because once you see what's really going on, you'll never look at a car dealership the same way again. Let's start with something simple. The front of a car, what designers call the face. You know how some cars look angry, some look friendly, and some look downright scared? That's completely intentional. Automakers hire teams of psychologists and behavioral scientists who use something called facial recognition theory, the same stuff that helps you read emotions on human faces, to create car designs that trigger specific emotional responses in your brain. When you see those sharp, angular headlights and an aggressive grille on a sports car, your brain subconsciously reads it as dominant, powerful, maybe even threatening, and that makes you feel excitement, adrenaline, a sense of danger that your primitive brain associates with status and power. On the flip side, when you see a family minivan with round, soft headlights and a gentle grille, your brain reads safety, trustworthiness, protection, exactly what a parent wants to feel when they're about to drop $40,000 on a vehicle to haul their kids around. But here's where it gets wild, and I need you to pay close attention because this is where the money really comes into play. These emotional triggers aren't just about making you feel good, they're designed to make you open your wallet. And the financial impact is staggering. Think about it. Why would someone pay $70,000, $80,000, even $100,000 for a luxury car when a $30,000 sedan gets them from point A to point B just as effectively? The answer is pure emotion, and car companies know this better than anyone. They've discovered that certain design elements, the curve of a fender, the height of a hood, the shape of a taillight, can trigger what psychologists call aspirational identity, which is basically a fancy way of saying they make you feel like the person you want to be, not the person you actually are. A sleek Mercedes or BMW doesn't just promise transportation, it promises status, success, the feeling that you've made it, and your brain craves that feeling so badly that you'll justify spending an extra 40 grand just to experience it every time you slide behind the wheel. Now here's something that'll blow your mind, and this is where the fear factor kicks in. Car manufacturers actually use color psychology in ways that are almost disturbing when you really think about it. Red cars? They're scientifically proven to trigger impulsive decisions, aggression, passion. That's why sports cars are so often red, because that color literally makes your heart race and clouds your rational judgment about whether you can actually afford the car payment. Silver and white? Those trigger feelings of modernity, cleanliness, innovation, perfect for electric vehicles and tech-forward brands trying to position themselves as the future. Black? Pure power, luxury, authority, which is why every executive-level trim comes in black as the premium option. But here's the kicker that most people never realize, and this is going to make you angry once you understand it. The entire car buying experience, from the moment you see an advertisement to the second you sign that finance contract, is engineered using these emotional manipulation techniques, and the numbers prove it. Studies show that buyers make their decision about whether they want a car within the first 7 seconds of seeing it. 7 seconds. That means everything. The emotional response to the design, the subconscious associations, the psychological triggers, all happen before your rational brain even has a chance to think about monthly payments, gas mileage, or whether you actually need a car with 400 horsepower. And guess what? Dealerships know this, which is why they put the shiniest, most emotionally provocative vehicles right up front where you can't miss them. They want that emotional hook to sink in deep before you start thinking about the financial reality. Speaking of financial reality, let's talk about something that'll really get you thinking. The average American spends about 9% of their income on car payments, insurance, and maintenance. But for people who buy based on emotional design rather than practical needs, that number can jump to 15 or even 20% of their income. That's potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars over a lifetime, money that could go toward retirement, investments, or building real wealth, all because a car company successfully triggered an emotional response that made someone feel like they needed that specific vehicle to be complete, to be successful, to be who they think they should be. Wait, you might be wondering, if car companies are so good at manipulating emotions, why do some designs fail? Great question, and this is where things get even more interesting. Sometimes automakers misread the emotional landscape or try to push boundaries too far, and when that happens, it costs them millions. Remember the Pontiac Aztek? That thing looked like it was designed by a committee who couldn't agree whether it should be a van, an SUV, or a science experiment gone wrong. The emotional response it triggered was confusion and disgust. Definitely not what they were going for, and it became one of the biggest automotive flops in history. Or how about when Tesla's Cybertruck was unveiled? The internet absolutely exploded because its angular, brutal design triggered such polarizing emotions. Some people loved the futuristic, rebellious vibe, while others thought it looked like a low-polygon video game glitch. But here's the genius part. Tesla understood that strong emotional responses, even negative ones, create conversation, controversy, and ultimately curiosity that translates into sales. Love it or hate it, you couldn't stop talking about it, and that's exactly what they wanted. Now, let me hit you with something that connects all of this together in a way that will make perfect sense. Every single design choice, from the width of the wheel wells to the angle of the windshield, is tested in focus groups and psychological studies to maximize emotional impact while minimizing production costs. Automakers literally have the formula down to a science. They know that making a hood 2 inches higher makes an SUV feel more protective and dominant, which lets them charge $3,000 more for the exact same vehicle with minimal actual changes. They know that adding fake air vents or aggressive body lines costs them maybe $100 in production, but increases perceived value by thousands because those elements trigger your brain's excitement and desire centers. It's the same principle casinos use with lights and sounds, except instead of getting you to pull a slot machine lever, they're getting you to sign a 6-year loan agreement. And here's where the urgency really hits home, because this manipulation isn't slowing down, it's accelerating. With electric vehicles taking over the market, automakers are doubling down on emotional design because they can't compete on engine sound anymore. They can't sell you on that throaty V8 rumble that used to trigger such primal satisfaction. So now they're going all in on visual drama, interior ambiance, lighting systems that change color based on driving mode, sounds that are artificially created to make acceleration feel more thrilling, even though the car is silent. Tesla's Model S has a ludicrous mode, not because the performance needed a name, but because the word itself triggers excitement and makes you feel like you're doing something outrageous every time you accelerate. And that emotional hit keeps you coming back for more. You start to wonder how much of what we think we want in the car is actually what we want versus what we've been conditioned to want through years of emotional manipulation. It's kind of terrifying when you really sit with that question. But hold on, because there's actually a silver lining here. And this is where you can flip the script and use this knowledge to your advantage. Once you understand how these emotional triggers work, you become immune to them, or at least more resistant. Next time you're looking at cars, I want you to do something radical. Cover up the brand badge and the styling elements for a moment and ask yourself what you actually need from this vehicle. Is it reliable transportation, cargo space, fuel efficiency, safety features? When you strip away the emotional manipulation and focus on practical requirements first, you'll be amazed at how different your choices become. And more importantly, how much money you can save. That BMW might make you feel successful, but does it make you $300 more successful than the Toyota that has better reliability ratings and costs half as much to maintain? That lifted truck with the aggressive stance might make you feel powerful, but do you actually need that capability? Or are you paying an extra $15,000 for an emotion you could get from a weekend hobby instead? This is the part where understanding the game changes everything, because knowledge is power, and in this case, it's financial power. Here's something else that'll make you think twice. The depreciation hit on cars purchased primarily for emotional reasons versus practical reasons is massive. A sleek sports car might lose 40% of its value in the first 3 years, while a sensible sedan might only lose 25%. That's thousands of dollars in real wealth just evaporating because of an emotional purchase decision. And the automakers, they're laughing all the way to the bank because they got you to pay premium price for their psychological research.
Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Mark, are you saying we should all just drive boring, practical boxes and never enjoy our cars? No, absolutely not. And this is important. There's nothing wrong with buying a car that makes you feel good, as long as you're making that choice consciously, with full awareness of what's happening, rather than being unconsciously manipulated by design elements you didn't even know were affecting how you feel. If you genuinely love cars, if that sleek coupe brings you real joy every time you drive it, and you can afford it without sacrificing your financial future, then go for it. The difference is between being an informed buyer who chooses emotion versus being an unknowing victim of emotional manipulation, and that distinction matters more than you might think. As we're wrapping this up, I want you to remember one critical thing. Automakers aren't evil for using these techniques. They're just really, really good at their jobs, which is selling cars and maximizing profit. Your job as a consumer in a world designed to extract maximum dollars from your wallet is to be equally smart about protecting your interests. Every time you feel that rush looking at a new car, pause and ask yourself where that feeling is coming from. Is it genuine preference and need, or is it carefully engineered psychological manipulation designed to override your rational decision-making? That simple pause, that moment of awareness, can save you thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you're at a dealership or browsing cars online, try to spot these emotional triggers in action. Notice how the lighting in showrooms is designed to make cars look more dramatic. Pay attention to how salespeople use language that triggers aspirational identity. Watch how marketing materials focus on lifestyle and emotion rather than practical specifications. Once you see the matrix, you can't unsee it, and that awareness is worth more than any upgraded trim package they're trying to sell you. If this video changed how you think about cars and car buying, smash that like button and subscribe, because we're just getting started uncovering the secrets the automotive industry doesn't want you to know. Drop a comment telling me about a time you bought a car based on emotion rather than logic. I want to hear your stories. And remember, next time you're staring at that beautiful machine in the showroom, take a breath, recognize what's happening in your brain, and make the choice that's right for your life and your wallet, not the choice that's right for the automaker's profit margins. Stay smart out there, and I'll see you in the next one.